Okay, over the last 2 days that we've been together, we've been working really hard by reading Thank You Ma'am. Remember, we've been working with our partner, taking it section by section, writing the important ideas on the right-hand side from each section, and then underlining the details to support it. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you and your partner to go ahead and hit pause on this video. I'm going to ask the two of you to take a look at the important ideas that we have written, that you have written on your paper, and when you go through and reread those important ideas just to put a little refresh in you and your partner's brain about what we've been talking about. And then when you're finished, go ahead and hit unpause to continue. Okay, so you and your partner have just gone over the important ideas that we've been working on and talking about. And then I'm going to ask you to take it way back in your notebooks. And you remember last week when we were working with Nelson Mandela and we had some conversations and we talked about what a summary is. And we said that a summary is a brief description of what a text is about. And we said that the summary includes three things. One, it tells the title of the text. Two, it gives a brief description of what the text is about, like 1 and 2 can be in the same sentence. And then 3, it tells the main important ideas from that text. And then somewhere in your notebook too, you should have this place where we have written this summary of Nelson Mandela and we wrote it together. Will you go ahead and find that page in your notebook and go ahead and leave it out so that you can use that as a model for today? Go ahead and hit pause on the video to give yourself time to do that. All right, so I'm assuming that you're back with me, that you and your partner have looked at that summary that we wrote last week from Nelson Mandela, and you're feeling pretty confident and feel like you can go ahead and write a summary of Thank You Ma'am on your own. So we're going to start together like we did last week, but then you're going to be working independently. So if you think back to how we started at Nelson Mandela, I noticed that we had a sentence where it told the title of the text, and then we had a sentence that also had a brief description of what that text was about. So on your line paper that looks like this, we're going to go ahead and add that sentence about Thank You Ma'am. So I might start off my sentence, and I'll show you this when this is done, with the story, and I'm going to invite you to do this on your paper as well. The story, Thank You Ma'am, by Langston Hughes. Is about a boy and a woman who meet. Remember, I'm not giving the whole story away, just kind of summing it up in a sentence. And a woman who meets when the boy tries to steal the woman's purse because he wants money for a pair of shoes. All right, so I'll go ahead and put this up here, and if you want to hit pause so that you can write that sentence on your summary, please go ahead and do that, and then unpause when you and your partner have finished. So again, my first sentence is, the story Thank You Ma'am by Langston Hughes, so I've given the title and the author, is about a boy and a woman who meet when the boy tries to steal the woman's purse because he wants money for a new pair of shoes. So a brief sentence about what it's about without giving every little detail in the story. Then when you have that part down, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take your notes out, and let's take a look at what we have for section 1. So if I go back and I think about section 1, the important ideas were the boy tries to steal the woman's purse, but the purse breaks and he falls down. She picks him up and shakes him hard. Those are the things that I marked. And then the details that I underlined was it was 11 o'clock at night and dark and she was walking alone. The boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. I underlined, instead of taking off full blast as he had hoped, the boy fell on his back from the sidewalk and his legs flew up. And I also underlined Then she reached down, picked the boy up by his shirt front, and shook him until his teeth rattled. So I'm going to ask you to think about, with your partner, what would that look like in our summary? What kinds of things would I include? So I might go ahead on my summary then and put exactly what I wrote on the right hand side. So I might put, let's see, when a boy tries to steal a purse because he wants money for a new pair of shoes, to me kind of makes sense to go ahead and start a new paragraph. So I might say, the boy tries to steal the woman's purse, but the purse breaks, and he falls down. I think I'm also going to add, the woman picks him up, and shakes him hard. And I think that about summarizes the important ideas about section 1. So what I'm going to ask you to do, you can do this with your partner, or you can decide at this point, you know what, I'm okay on my own, I want to work by myself. I'm going to ask you to work through the rest of the text in the same way. Take it section by section, stop and ask yourself what are the important ideas, and go ahead and add to your summary. If you happen to run out of space, go ahead and use the back of the paper. When you're finished, review the summary, make sure you've included everything that's important, and then go ahead and turn it into the turn-in basket, and you have some IDR time. Remember, for IDR time, today I am asking you to stay in your assigned seat, and please be good for the sub and do follow our classroom expectations and be the awesome kids that I know that you are. Have a good day.